What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Big 12 newsletter, Houston edition. I am your host, Garrett Ross. Make sure you go over to 365sports.video where you can sign up for the newsletter, and we'll have that in your inbox every Wednesday, somewhere between 11 and noon, just depending on which time zone you're in, as this thing now spans multiple time zones. But we have every team covered over there that you need, and it's your one-stop shop for everything Big 12. In particular here, though, we are talking about the Houston Cougars, and man, what a weird weekend for the Cougs. Coming into this game last week on the main show, when the guys were doing their previews, and Craig asked me about this game because he is picking TCU. And he wanted to get my thoughts on it. I told him, man, like I absolutely could see TCU winning this game because the inconsistencies with Houston's offense have been there all season. When TCU had an opportunity to get rolling on people, they could put up some numbers. And I was kind of nervous. Could Houston, if they got themselves to a deficit, find the way to come out of that and win? And unfortunately, that's exactly how it played out. And we saw it. No, Houston was not able to do that despite a tremendous defensive effort once again from the Cougs. But you find yourself down 14-0 in this game, and nothing is really going for you. I think TCU did a really excellent job with their defensive philosophy of taking Tanner Koziel away from Houston, knowing that he was going to be a big, really reliable force for Conner Weigman to check down to. And it was the same approach that they did when they faced Baylor a few weeks back. I was at that game and just kind of watching that, and they took Michael Trigg away. And they to me, that was the blueprint for everybody and how to go and defend Baylor. And you're starting to see that carry over, and Houston will be able to do that again this week. But that was the approach that the Frogs took, was, okay, we're not going to let you beat us with your big tight end. So how do you do that? And unfortunately for Houston, they're just at a place right now where they don't have the playmakers. And the rushing attack is very minimal at this point. You have so many injuries back there. You're really relying on Dean Connors to carry the weight, and he can't do that. So you got a heavy dose of Conner Weigman in this game, both passing and on the ground. Dean Connors finished the game with 70 yards, but most of that was on one run. It was one run of 50-plus yards that had him on the sidelines gasping for air for like 3 minutes. But outside of that, nothing was doing. You had Amari Thomas trying to get open and make some plays, but there was nothing there. I mean, TCU was kind of sitting back. They were playing soft coverage, and there was just no tight windows, or there was nothing there for Amari to get open. He had a few catches on the game, nothing spectacular. He had one touchdown, and the same goes for Dean Connors. Like, he had a good game on the solid tack on the ground, but outside of that one run, he found the end zone once. Both of those touchdowns, by the way, were off of turnovers. It was the defense once again stepping up, and this was a situation where you've got to be able, if you're Houston, to play some complementary football, and we haven't been able to see the Cougs do that so far this season. But the thing with that is Will James was so clutch for Houston in this game defensively. Arguably his best game of the year, and both of those touchdowns set up, whether it was Dean Connors or Amari Thomas, were both off of interceptions by Will James. And you cannot rely on your defense to constantly put you in these positions. You've got to be able to churn something out offensively. You got to be able to make some big plays. And I just don't know that Houston's got the skill set right now. And I think we're too far into this. You just got 2 games remaining. You're going bowling regardless of the outcome on this Saturday in Waco, but you've got to find a way to put some help around Conner Weigman. You've got to find some skill players over there, because you can't continue to do this. And unfortunately, it bit them. I think this week is one where Conner Weigman should have a big game. There's no reason that he shouldn't just go off again on the ground. Looking back at this past week against TCU, he finished it was 15-29, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns through the air, ran for another 114. But like, I think he can do that again against Baylor. I think he can have pretty much a similar stat line, but I think you're going to see a lot more rushing yards. I think he's going to have a field day running all over this Baylor defense who can't stop anybody. But I still don't know if that's enough to get the win. I'm really apprehensive on this thing, because I've watched Baylor all year long. I've seen the ebbs and flows, the hype machine that was supposed to be, and then just things saying get off the rails. And I think Houston can attack them. I really think that they could take advantage of this defense, but I'm really interested to see this Houston defense go up against Baylor's offense, because after that first half last week against Arizona, where they dropped 21, they were non-existent in the second half. And I'm interested to see, can Houston really put the clamps down on them? Can they make Sawyer Robertson super uncomfortable? Because this cat's been so inconsistent the past few weeks. He's a shell of himself. I'm really interested to see how people view him heading into the draft. But I think that Houston's defense can really work them now. But can you hang with them? Can you score with Baylor if Sawyer Robertson gets hot? If Josh Cameron has one of those days where he's feeling himself in senior day, this is going to be 20 seniors out there on the field for Baylor. Josh Cameron, Michael Trigg, Sawyer Robertson, like you got a lot of your skill players that this is it. This is their last shot, and they're fighting for bowl eligibility in what's going to be an empty stadium. Let's be real, ain't nobody coming out to this. They gave up on this program. They don't care about Baylor anymore. But if you're Houston, you can't let that get in your head. You got to come in here and take care of business. And I just, man, for whatever reason, I know both of these programs, and I feel like this is one where Baylor's going to have a way that they're going to screw around and win this game. If Houston doesn't take care of business, and I'm kind of apprehensive on this, I can see a weird situation where Houston loses, Baylor becomes bowl eligible, really pisses their fan base off, and then the Cougs roll in and they win a bowl game and they head into the offseason and they are thankful for this season. Because honestly, right now you're at 8 wins. The best you can do is 10. I think that's possible. I don't think it's necessarily realistic. I don't see you winning 10 games this season, but this has been arguably one of the, I don't know how you would really put this season into words because nobody had this expectation. If you told Houston you're going to be 8 wins deep, looking at possible 10, you're going bowling, you were ranked twice. Like, how the hell was anybody going to believe that coming into? They weren't going to believe that. They were going to think you were crazy. But I think you need to finish the season out strong. I think you need to not sleep on Baylor, come in here and just kind of prove me wrong. I hope you do. I want to see Houston win. There's no reason Houston shouldn't win this game. I just got this weird feeling, man. This weird feeling about Baylor, like that they're going to sneak one out here and really just kind of piss their fan base off. But regardless, I think this has been a great season for the Cougs. I think this is one that you continue to build on. But like I mentioned, you've really got to attack the transfer portal. You've got to get Conner Weigman some more help around him. Defensively, I think you're going to be fine. But really the offense, that's where you got to get some skill players there. The offensive line, I can live with what you have. Is it great? No. Is it one of the best in the conference? No. But what I think you have is a lot of gutsy guys who have been forced into some weird situations, and they've had to like battle adversity all year long with injuries. And I think that's only going to make them better. I think that you could build off of that, but get a couple of key people that you can plug in there. But you've really got to address the skill set. You've really got to get some more talented playmakers in here. And you also got to address the backfield as well. Hopefully you can get some of these guys healed up and they can return. That's been really the unfortunate thing for this backfield all year long. I think coming in, you were like, man, you got something special with this group. And unfortunately, that's just the way the ball bounces. It wasn't able to come into fruition this season for them on the field, but you could build off of that. Anyway, I think in this game, man, I'm going to give Baylor the edge just because of just this weird vibe I have. Houston, I hope you prove me wrong. I really do. But it's really going to come down to that chess match with the defense. Houston's defense, this Baylor offense, and Conner Weigman's ability to really just violate Baylor's defense, who can't stop anything with his legs. And getting Tanner Koziel involved, you really need to bounce back after being shut out last week. There's no reason you can't take advantage of Baylor's defense, especially in the middle of the field. I think you can kind of pick them apart. So I expect a big bounce back game from Tanner Koziel in this matchup. Amari Thomas, I think he'll get his. I think he has about the same kind of stat line you saw against TCU. I wouldn't be surprised if he found the end zone one more time. But really interested in Conner Weigman, man. What do you do against this Baylor defense? Your skill set is perfect for you're the kryptonite to what they do. Like there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to have a field day against this team. Regardless, it's going to be a fun matchup. This should be an empty stadium. This should be a good way to go and just kind of flush out the season, get ready for the holidays, and to put this thing into full gear. I think, like I said, I think Baylor gets the dub in this one. I think Houston goes off bowling. I think they win their bowl game, and I think they build on what was a tremendous season heading into this off year. And I'm interested to see what they can bring to the table next year in year 3 of Willie Fritz. But until next time, make sure you go over to 365sports.video where you can sign up for the Big 12 newsletter. You can go on social media and catch me at _ Garrett Ross on Twitter. I don't really do too much. I don't really be vibing with social media. But if you want the content, it's over there. And we'll have this, newsletter in your inbox on Wednesday by noon. Until next time, I'm Garrett Ross. Make sure you go over and like and subscribe at 365 Sports. I'm out.